Imagine a world where a scratch from a rose thorn could be fatal, where even the smallest cut or scrape could spiral into a life-threatening infection. In those days, a sore throat wasn't just uncomfortable. It could mean death, especially for the young and vulnerable. This was the harsh reality before a simple, almost careless accident in a London laboratory set the stage for one of history's greatest medical breakthroughs. Back then, bacteria were invisible predators, striking without warning, and humanity had no real defense against their relentless assault. The turning point wasn't a grand experiment or a carefully planned study. It was a petri dish left out by chance, a window open, and a single mold spore drifting in on a sunbeam. This tiny, almost invisible event sparked a revolution, revealing a secret war between molds and bacteria, microbes fighting for survival in their own natural environment. For centuries, humans were just the battlefield, suffering the consequences of this microscopic powerless defense. Then, one scientist's curiosity and keen observation changed everything, forever altering the course of medicine. The discovery of penicillin didn't just give us a new medicine, it gave us a new way to fight disease, a tool to tip the scales in our favor. For the first time, we could harness a weapon from one microbe to defeat another, turning nature's own arsenal into our ally. This was nothing short of revolutionary, shifting the balance of power in our favor and saving countless lives in the decades that followed. The invisible world of microbes became not just a threat but a source of salvation, a hidden realm full of potential cures. Penicillin opened the door to antibiotics, a hidden pharmacy in nature waiting to be discovered and explored. It's a powerful reminder that the greatest discoveries can come from the most ordinary moments, and sometimes pure chance. The story of penicillin is a story of nature's hidden power, human curiosity, and the unexpected ways in which science can change the world. And it all began with a forgotten dish in the cluttered lab, a simple accident that sparked a revolution and saved millions of lives. Alexander Fleming, a meticulous bacteriologist at St. Mary's Hospital in London, returned from a summer holiday in 1928 to an unexpected sight. On his cluttered workbench, among dozens of petri dishes, he found one dish contaminated with a strange blue-green mold. Instead of discarding the spoiled dish, Fleming's keen eye noticed something remarkable: a clear, bacteria-free zone surrounding the mold, as if the bacteria had simply vanished in its presence. The mold, which Fleming later identified as Penicillium notatum, was producing a mysterious substance that killed harmful bacteria. This was unlike anything he had seen before. Fleming called this substance mold juice at first, marveling at its power. Eventually, he named it penicillin, the world's very first natural antibiotic, a discovery that would change medicine forever. In 1929, Fleming published his findings in a scientific journal, hoping to spark interest. But the world was slow to notice. Most of his colleagues dismissed the discovery as a laboratory oddity. Penicillin was difficult to isolate and unstable outside the lab. For over a decade, it remained a scientific curiosity, its true potential locked away by technical challenges. Meanwhile, hospitals overflowed with patients suffering from infections. Doctors relied on outdated treatments, unaware that a revolutionary cure was quietly waiting to be unlocked. Fleming's accidental discovery was a scientific breakthrough, but it would take the collaboration and determination of other scientists to realize its full life-saving potential. The mold had revealed its secret, but the world wasn't quite ready to listen. For years, Fleming's notes in petri dishes sat largely ignored, their importance unrecognized. Sometimes the answers that could change the world are right in front of us, hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize their value and act. Fleming's curiosity and persistence set the stage for a revolution in medicine, inspiring others to continue where he left off. The next challenge was enormous, transforming a laboratory miracle into a drug that could save millions of lives around the world. The story of penicillin was just beginning, and its journey from forgotten petri dish to medical marvel would soon accelerate. A forgotten dish, left on a cluttered bench, had started a chain reaction that would ultimately change the course of human history. Before penicillin, even minor injuries could be deadly. Doctors had no real weapons against infections, just hope and crude, often toxic treatments. Hospitals were dangerous, and diseases like pneumonia, strep throat, and syphilis were terrifying killers. Childbirth was perilous. In infections claimed countless mothers. Life expectancy was low, not because people aged faster, but because infections struck down the young. Amputation was often the only way to stop an infection from spreading. Children were especially vulnerable. Simple ear infections could turn fatal. The world desperately needed a miracle. That miracle was hidden in Fleming's mold, waiting to be unlocked. Penicillin would become the key to escaping the prison of bacterial disease. The age of antibiotics was on the horizon. Humanity was on the brink of a new era. The world was about to change forever. Fleming's discovery was revolutionary, but penicillin was hard to produce. Enough for experiments, but not for patients. The world had a miracle in its grasp, but it was trapped in the confines of a petri dish, its potential limited by the technology and knowledge of the time. The challenge was immense: turn mold juice into a stable, effective drug that could be produced on a massive scale. Scientists faced a daunting task, as the process was unpredictable and yields were tiny. Enter Howard Florey and Ernst Chain at Oxford, who revisited Fleming's work as World War II. They saw the promise of penicillin and were determined to unlock its potential for the world. They painstakingly isolated and purified penicillin, working long hours with primitive equipment. Every drop was precious, and the process was agonizingly slow, requiring patience and ingenuity. Their first patient, a policeman, showed dramatic improvement until the supply ran out and he died. It was a heartbreaking setback, but also a powerful proof of penicillin's life-saving power. The lesson was clear: penicillin worked. Massive quantities of needed to save lives. The world needed a way to produce it reliably in markets. Britain, under siege and limited resources, couldn't produce it. So Florey and Norman Eaton took a bold step. They carried the precious mold to the United States, hoping for help. American scientists and officials immediately saw its potential and launched a massive government-backed effort to scale up production, mobilizing resources on an unprecedented scale. Pharmaceutical companies and research labs united, pooling their expertise and facilities to solve the puzzle of mass production. New methods were invented, and old ones improved. The race was on to make penicillin available to the world. The collaboration between nations, scientists, and industry was unprecedented, setting a new standard for global teamwork. The fate of millions depended on their success. Soldiers, civilians, and families everywhere waited anxiously for this miracle drug. The world was about to witness a medical revolution, one that would change the course of history and medicine forever. The miracle in a dish was on its way to becoming a miracle for humanity, promising hope and healing on a scale never before imagined. The American push to mass-produce penicillin was monumental, second only to the Manhattan Project. A moldy cantaloupe in Peoria, Illinois, yielded a strain that produced far more penicillin. Deep tank fermentation allowed for industrial-scale production. By 1943, penicillin was saving Allied soldiers from infections that once meant certain death. On D-Day, enough was available to treat every wounded soldier. Penicillin slashed deaths and amputations, boosting morale and saving thousands. After the war, the infrastructure shifted to civilian use. Penicillin became widely available, transforming medicine for everyone. Ordinary doctors could now treat diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries. The age of antibiotics had truly begun. A forgotten mold had become a global lifesaver. The revolution was complete. The world would never be the same. Penicillin's impact was immediate and dramatic. Before antibiotics, pneumonia killed 1 in 3. After penicillin, deaths dropped to less than 5%. Syphilis, scarlet fever, and strep throat became treatable. Deaths from childbirth infections plummeted. Life expectancy soared, especially for the young and elderly. Surgeons could perform complex operations with less fear of infection. Parents no longer lived in dread of a child's fever. The numbers told a story of millions of lives saved. Medicine entered an era of optimism. The fear that haunted humanity for centuries began to fade. Penicillin's miracle was measured in lives, families, and futures restored. The world became safer, healthier, and more hopeful. The age of antibiotics had arrived. Penicillin's discovery sparked a golden age of antibiotic research. Scientists scoured the earth for new drugs, finding streptomycin, tetracycline, and more. Antibiotics became the foundation of modern medicine. Complex surgeries, organ transplants, and cancer treatments all rely on them. They protect the most vulnerable, premature babies, cancer patients, and those with chronic illnesses. Antibiotics are a vital shield, enabling medical miracles. The legacy of that moldy dish underpins 21st century healthcare. From dental work to life-saving interventions, antibiotics are our safety net. They've added years and quality to our lives, all thanks to a chance discovery in 1928. The triumph of antibiotics led to overuse in medicine and agriculture. Bacteria, ever evolving, began to develop resistance. Superbugs like MRSA and drug-resistant tuberculosis emerged. The golden age of new antibiotics faded. Developing new drugs became harder and costlier. Pharmaceutical companies pulled back, and the pipeline slowed to a trickle. Our miracle drugs are losing their power. We now face a post-antibiotic era where common infections could again be deadly. Medical procedures we take for granted could become too risky. The battle against bacteria is far from over. It's an evolutionary arms race, demanding global stewardship and innovation. The miracle of penicillin is under threat. Our future depends on protecting these life-saving medicines. The story of antibiotics is still being written. Penicillin's story is a lesson in curiosity, collaboration, and the wonders of nature. A single moldy dish sparked a revolution that saved more lives than any other medical advance. Antibiotics transformed medicine from managing symptoms to curing disease. But the rise of resistance reminds us our victory is not absolute. We are stewards of these precious medicines and must use them wisely. The future of medicine depends on our choices today. The tale of penicillin is a call to stay curious and open-minded. The greatest solutions may come from the most unlikely places. The humble mold that changed the world continues to inspire and warn us all.